So I will talk about the influence of magnetism, electricity, sound waves, music on plant growth, but you can also transpond it on our health or all organisms. It's not only about plants, it's also about us. We are all organisms made of the same substances, and it's all about energy consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay, you nearly ready,
Yes.
Yannick, because we're going to run out of time.
Okay.
Okay, over to you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. So I'm from Belgium, and I'm living in France now, next to the German border in Alsace region, for the one that knows. So I will talk about the influence of magnetism, electricity, sound waves, music on plant growth, but you can also transpond it on our health or all organisms. It's not only about plants, it's also about us. We are all organisms made of the same substances, and it's all about energy consciousness that makes that one is a plant, that we are a human, that another is an insect, but the basic substances is all the same. It's just oxygen, water, carbon, it's all the same. It's just about consciousness. So I've given you the result of all my research and a lot of people. So I will tell you. So do you see good the slides, or we will try to do with it? Otherwise we have to ask to the clouds to come before the sun. So I began my first research with the influence of music on plant growth, and that's an example of the power it can have. That's 6 minutes music of certain very specific melodies. It's like a code. It's like you have prayers or mantras. It's really like a code. It's not just you speak whatever language or whatever phrase. No, it's or whatever sentence. No, it's really a code that creates a resonance with a lot more things. With it can have a resonance with what happens in our DNA, in our genes or protein synthesis. It can activate things or stop things. It's really a code. All those ancient knowledge with all those mantras or those prayers, it's really very powerful. You cannot imagine how powerful it is. I will show you. And it's there. In all those old books you find that back, and you can use it. Yes. So here you see the tomato plants. That was a study I did at the university, were like 30 centimeters bigger after 2 months, with only 6 minutes of music every day, with a specific code. If you give the music we hear now, you would not have that result. That cannot happen. You would maybe make the plant sick, maybe become healthy. It depends on a lot of things and parameters, but so that's an example how powerful it can be. So I did like this my research, a thesis as agronomist. I got my degree with a thesis all about the influence of music on plant growth, but I had to name it differently so it sounds more scientific, you see. So it's the influence of variable sound frequencies on plant growth and development. Yeah. So like I told, it's really a specific code. And when you know like the genes or the proteins you want to stimulate or inhibit, you can calculate with their mass, with certain constants and with formulas from quantum physics, you can calculate the melody. Each molecule has resonance frequencies that you can transpose in sound. And then you have like a melody, and when you play that melody, if for example you want to increase your hair growth, there are proteins involved in hair growth like keratin, or in your nails. Well, when you create the melody corresponding with that protein, with those molecules, you would increase maybe by 2 times the growth of your nails. There's no use for that, but you can do that for every gene you can activate, or so it's very powerful. You can do good things with it, you can do bad things with it. You can, an example, you could heal people that had genetic disease or genetic problem from their birth. You can make it again normal. It's an example. You can, but you can do the opposite too. If you can do bad things too, you can mess it all up too. It's very dangerous too. An example too, GMOs. You can imagine there are all GMOs, you send the right frequencies and they become again all rare breeds, plants, and we get rid of the problem of the GMO. That's possible in theory, but then to make it in practice, it's some experiment to do.
Do it with the Seeber-Geigy effect, which is generally
yes. I will answer to all the questions at the end, otherwise we will not go to the end. Oh, sorry. The sound, that's like a bird, you see? You have heard it. But you have that sound. That's a more simple. That's a lot more simple than a bird. I just do 2 notes. Even that sound can have already very profound effects on plant growth. It's like an imitation of birds, because they are like less than 50% less birds now than in the 50s, for example. But that influences all plant growth. A lot of plants are sick. It's not normal that the plants are growing so badly and that there are so much sicknesses of trees or dying trees. You see here around, there are also dying trees. Normally it has to be like in a rainforest. You see everybody, everywhere, the plants growing like crazy and harmony, and a lot of that the plants don't grow only with fertilizer. That's completely unnatural. That's because there are all kinds of energies that are messed up, like with our electromagnetic pollution, for example, and we can, with the know-how we have and that I share with you, you will be able to help again to put the right frequencies. It's all about harmony too. An example, that's on a vineyard. You see here the vines for grapes, they are a lot bigger than here, and that's conventional farming with chemics, and that is biodynamic, and with music, you see. And he had no sickness. He had the best quality of grapes than all the other of the company where he delivered the grapes. So it's a proof you can do even better and more quality and even more in quantity organic than with chemicals. A lot of people think, with organic it's normal, it's more or less the plants are less beautiful sometimes, or no, that's not normal. That's because they don't know how to do organic. If you know it good, you will have very nice plants that would have even more plenty of energy than with chemicals. But we have to learn that all back in the past times they knew how to do it, but now we, like decades that we do agriculture in the bad way, we have forgotten how to do it, and we have to learn that back. So I will sometimes go very quickly over certain slides. It's because I have enough slides to fill a whole journey, even 2 days. So I will just talk about certain slides. An example, what is very important too, 432 Hertz. You have heard about this?
Yeah.
So you have now all the music that you hear, it's all tuned to 440 Hertz. But we have to talk to all those musicians. If you know one musician, you would have to tell what I will tell you now. So 440 Hertz, that was after the Second World War. In the whole world or Western world, they decided to to tune all the music instruments at 440 Hertz because before in each country it was a little different. One was tuning to 432, one other to 435, and when the musicians and orchestra has to play together, they had to choose a kind of tuning to be able to play together. Otherwise it doesn't sound good. And so the A or the La, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do, that the A is the same tune with all the instruments and all the countries. But the problem is that 440 Hertz, so here you see the La, A, 440 Hertz, that's the classic tuning that we hear everywhere. The problem is that match there's no frequency in nature that match 440 Hertz. So when you listen to 440 Hertz, it's very artificial. It doesn't match with anything in nature, with any resonance frequency that is good for health or good in nature. It matches with nothing. And 432 Hertz is slightly different, but that matches with a lot of things. An example, one resonance frequency of water is 432 Hertz. And water you find in all life forms. It's important on Earth in all life forms. Maybe there are other planets with other molecules that are important, but here on Earth you have carbon, silicium, water is very, very important to create life. And so when you listen to that, it would vibrate with you even on molecular level. An example, we are made of, maybe they say 70% water, maybe 80%, a little more when we are born. That's the mass of all our molecules, 70% water. But if we look at the volume of us, we are 99% water. We are all water. We are mainly water. And there's only 1% all the other atoms. So it's almost nothing. So if you burn yourself, you have just a little that of ash, you see? Because all the rest is only water and carbon, but the biggest molecules are the water. The water is around every atom, every molecule in our body. It's the water that keeps the things together, that gives form. An example, if you have sand, if it's dry sand, you cannot give form. But as soon you moisture it, you give water to it, you can give form. It's the same with us. Water is very important. Also, as an antenna system, it can have an effect of amplification, but also you can record electromagnetic energy in water. It's also like an antenna system. You see an example, the eyes. You have different shapes, forms, in relation to the energy of the environment, the water would crystallize in different shapes, beautiful shapes or less beautiful shapes. And so I would make you listen to that frequency, so you will feel it really inside you. Very important. You will feel the importance of it. Everybody can feel that very easily. And you will feel how you are influenced by sound, even if you don't are aware of it. Because we have something called the frequency following response. An example, if you hear that music, you go to the music, you have the tendency to begin to move with the music, you see? That's a frequency following response. Even if you don't want to, it would create a kind of stress that inside you that would follow that frequency. So it's very important to be in environments that create the frequencies that are good for your health. So you follow naturally good frequencies. Otherwise, you are like on a bad way, you see. But it can be nice too. I like that sometimes too in the past. Now less. But if they would play at 432 Hertz, it would be already a lot better. Music too, when you listen to music that is good for your health, you would find it beautiful. If you find that beautiful, then it's that you need that, then it's good. But if you don't find it beautiful, don't listen to it, because then you don't need it. We have like a natural response that what is good for us, we find it beautiful. That's completely natural. And when we don't need it anymore, we don't like it anymore. It's just as simple as that. But that's real science. You don't need to make a checkup or for your blood or something if something is good for you or not. If you like it, it's good. If you don't like it, it's not good. It's really as simple as that. That's a kind of rule that is very important. We cannot generalize always, we have to be careful, but so I would make you listen that frequency. So 440 Hertz, an example. You hear it? You hear? You hear it?
Yes.
So that's 440 Hertz. That's 440 Hertz. So everybody recognize that as the sound you hear when you pick up the telephone. It's 440, like this.
Delta.
It's everywhere. The A, the La, is 440 Hertz. So if you take the guitar of one of the musicians, the A would be this sound. Now I will put on 432. You would maybe even not sense the difference in the beginning, because we are so used at 440. A moment. So I will push on 432. So that's 432. So you feel how you feel now with 432? Feel now how you feel with 432. Just observe your own body, your own feelings. And now I will go back. That's so 432 is a lot more natural frequency. It's in harmony with water, it's in harmony with a lot of things in nature. And now I will go back on 440. And you will observe how you feel. Just simple as that. Ready? So that's 432. And now I will put 440. A moment. Ready?
I don't like that.
Who likes this? Who likes this? But in the beginning we were not aware of it. We think it's normal. But now you feel how aggressive this is. You feel it? And we are so used to it because we are born with it, we hear it everywhere, and we think, oh, it's nice music. You see? And now imagine if you had the whole environment, everything on the radio and TV, music and festival at 4:32, what would happen? And I will put again on 4:32 because otherwise we will become crazy altogether. So I put again 4:32. Feel how you feel now. So you feel now how we are back to like a kind of normal state that has to be normal. You see, that's you feel it. Oh, sorry, somebody wants to call me. Don't call me at conferences. So, and then all the other notes of music are at different frequencies too. Like an example, the Do, the C, when it's at 4:32, you find back 256 Hertz. That's also a very magical number you find in ancient knowledge and books and everything. Here too, the Re, the D is 288 with 4:32. And that's also a number you find back even in the Bible, 144. It's a harmonics of 288. And all the other frequencies too. An example, chlorophyll, the green in the plants, the light that is absorbed by the green in the plants is a resonance frequency with 256 Hertz. You see, if you put in the sound and at 440 you don't find any number back that is in harmony with the universe. Imagine when you listen to music or to wide frequencies that are in harmony with everything that is around us, nature, with the planets, with molecules, with it would stimulate your awareness, your sensitiveness, your psychic abilities, your intuition. Maybe you would become clairvoyant or clairaudient. It would stimulate a lot of things and you would feel a lot better. Maybe you are sick and maybe by just listening to 4:32 Hertz music you become again healthy because it creates harmony. It will bring back balance. And also to the whole world. Imagine all those engineers, all the engineers now, they listen all to music in their everyday life at 440 Hertz. Imagine they all listen to 4:32. They would create machines that are more in harmony with nature. We would have intuitions, thoughts that would all be more in harmony with nature. That would be more tuned in. You see? That's also one of the reasons that the people are like unconscious, you see? Even here a lot. An example, here maybe we collect the most people that are the most conscious. Imagine how the others are. And you see how much work there still have to be to become again aware of ourselves and our potential. So, but now you are a little bit more aware. You can find it even in the pyramids. Do you think they build that just by coincidence? No, that's really to transmit certain knowledge to future generations. And future not just in 100 years, no, in 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 years ahead, because they knew we would need that. An example, here, the pyramid at water level, because before there was possibility that the pyramid was in the water, like a lake around or something, and at water level it's 432 royal cubit length, side, and a royal cubit is an old length of that time, so that's not that cannot be a coincidence. And at water level, and it's also a resonance frequency with the water. That's also very amazing. An example, when you put, that were just the students that were maybe 15 years old or something, they did at school a little experiment. They have put 432 hertz sound frequencies 15 minutes a day on beans. And look, after 10 days, the beans were growing bigger. And after 35 days, the beans with the music, 15 minutes a day, were like almost like 30–50% bigger, you see. That's an example, and that was just 15 minutes a day, one frequency, you see. But you can see it also differently. For 40 hertz, if you have done this, you would be there or even lower, you see. And your normal potential is there. It's the same with this. So I advise you to use 432, and if you know musicians, talk about it, that they create music at 432. For them, it's no work to do, it's just the same work. It's just they have to tune their music instrument slightly lower. It's as easy as that. And you would see they will be a lot more creative too. Really a lot more creative. They feel that. They feel a lot better, less stressed, a lot more creative. They would have a lot more fun too when they play music. An example, I've created this. That's a wind chime with every So that's a wind chime with all the tubes on the notes in harmony with 432 hertz. And when you play this or you put this outside, it would balance and bring harmony all around. And that's not like other wind chimes you see that are even not tuned at all, or sometimes tuned but to the 440 hertz and things like that. Those create stress. And after a while, you are busy of it, and you put them in the worst case in the bin, and in the less worst case, you put it in a corner somewhere that nobody see it, and that you don't hear it anymore. But this one you want to hear. Every time you pass by, you knock a little bit on it to hear it because it's beautiful. That's a whole different. So you feel it. It's like the 432, but it's even a lot more. So if somebody wants them, I have a few with me, and otherwise you can order them. I'm the only one that has developed those wind chimes and make them. But if there are people making wind chimes, I advise them to put them all at 432.
Are they specific lengths?
How?
Specific lengths?
Yes, it's a specific length of the tubes that it's matched to the tuning, to the 432 hertz. So if you want some, I have only 2 or 3 with me, but you can have. So 432, very important. So here you see. Here you have the wind chime, and that's a video, a photograph of the energy field around. It's with the technique of Harry Oldfield. Really very marvelous, because he can see with his systems, he analyzed the light, and you can see invisible energies that certain people can see naturally. But we have like lost this capacity, but we can learn that back. But he can see that with his system. It's just the normal light that he analyzes, and he see very subtle energies. And when you just put that sound here there's too much light to see. But an example, yes, you see here around you have little blue, and here around it's a lot more blue, light colors. So the more light colors, the more energy you have around, you see. And also here on the soil, but here you don't see it so good, but here you see red, and that's a very good energy also that like feeds the soil. It's like those sounds bring harmony and brings good energies all around, and that's a proof of it. It's that's scientific. You can it's just a measurement instrument, you see. It's a proof. If you do this with other energy, it becomes, with other wind chimes, it will maybe become all dark red or dark like this, because it's not so good energy. Another example about energy and sound. So here you have the sonotest. That's also a fantastic instrument that makes invisible energies of your chakras, for example, makes them audible. You hear them. Where you have more energy on your chakras, or certain chakras are more active, you would hear the sound will amplify itself, will increase. And where you have a little problem, it can be psychological problem or physical problem, inside, outside, it would absorb the sound. So it's really very nice. And you see, when you see on the hieroglyphs of ancient buildings, like around the temples, around the pyramids, you see all kind of tools that you don't know what it's for. I think a part of those tools are just kind of tuning forks, you see, tuning systems, so wave systems to help to heal. An example, listen. We will do it on me as an experiment. I do it again. See here, you have heard at this level I had more energy. The sound increases, and there I had little less energy compared to there, and the sound was absorbed. And when the sound was absorbed and I come back here, the sound increased again. That's very interesting, because if you are in tune with certain energies, you see, you can create more energy. If you have like 100 tuning forks at the same frequency, they would all vibrate, even if you just tuckle on one tuning fork. It's all about resonance. Energy is about resonance. If you put something in the same resonance as light, you could capture the light frequency. If you put something with sound at the same, like, if those tubes were at the same frequencies of the sound we hear from the other tent, they would begin to ring. But they don't, because they are not at the same frequencies. So it's all energy that is there, all around us. And so that is a tool that everybody can use. Even somebody, I don't believe in kind of energy like this or this. You don't have to believe, you just have to listen, to look, and you would see. And you cannot tell there's nothing, there is something. Because an example, if you have eaten something bad, you would see it would absorb the sound. If you have a sore throat, you would see it would absorb the sound on your level of your throat. You cannot hide. The energy is there. And that's also very important, because when you are more intuitive, more aware, it will be a lot more difficult to hide things or to lie, because you would feel directly it's truth or it's not truth, or he is hiding something or not. If everybody would have instant telepathy, all the politicians would have to say the truth, otherwise they will be not taken serious. It's just as simple as that, everybody, and that would change the world instantly. If everybody come back to his own energy and intuition and everything, it would change the world instantly, because you would see the truth in the things. You would follow the right paths, your purpose, your life purpose. About sound again, sound structures have a structuring effect. You have the magnetic field, the earth, there's everywhere. You take a compass up, you can capture that magnetic field everywhere. That's magnetic energy that is everywhere. And I think, like the dowsers, the phone's silent, like the dowsers too, they can, with their rods, they feel like changes in the magnetic fields, but very subtle changes like this. So an example, here's a line. I don't know what it is, but there's something. Interesting. So here we have seen that there's a cross, because I went like this, and I think there's a cross of two lines. Well, you can also hear the difference with the sound. If you go over it, you would hear it. It's a kind of energy that is there. It's like a grid on Earth. And sometimes it's good to be on certain crossing points, but sometimes it's not good. People are sometimes making them sick on being on places they are not good for them. It depends. So it's very interesting. And so I think the sound has also electromagnetic properties. And I have read that in certain Asian or I think Chinese articles, scientific articles about sound, and they were talking about electromagnetic properties. There's like a story about the turtle. You see the structure of the turtle. Well, if you put sound on sand, certain frequencies, you find back the same shapes as you find on the turtle, or in the electromagnetic field of the Earth. And that's very interesting, because it's like sound shapes things, or give form, structure. Sound is an information. Our thoughts is an information. And